So all of this discussion and talk we've had put together about good lives, now we're going to have hear from some people who have great lives, and Wendy Strove is going to lead us in this. So I'll hand it over to you, Wendy.
Hello everyone, thank you for making your way back here. I know that you're all engaged in conversations, etc., but I'm really happy to be leading this panel today. It's a very important panel, I would say, and it's called The Good Lives of People with Disabilities. So thank you for joining me, and thank you for joining us, I should say. So we're going to hear from these three incredible people this afternoon who are going to tell you some stories and share their wisdom and experiences, and we hope that the stories are all going to help us imagine bigger and better futures for people with disabilities and inspire us to take some action together to achieve that. The panel is about real stories, real voices and real lives, and what is possible when we listen and when we walk alongside each other. So first of all, I'd like to introduce our panellists. I'm just going to read out a quick bio for each of them. Rachael, up the end here. Hi, Rachael. Rachael is a thriving 29-year-old woman from Morpeth, New South Wales on Wonnarua lands. After completing her schooling year in the local primary and high school, Rachael has channeled her passion for art into a bustling micro-enterprise called Fu Can Create, based around her original artworks. She's now preparing to live independently in her own home, a milestone she's excited to have reached. She has a rich social life with friends who share her interest in horses, music, pole dancing and more. Rachael is a multimodal communicator whose sense of humour and energy is infectious to those around her. Next to me here I have Rhiannon Samuels-Connell. Rhiannon is a 21-year-old woman from the Sapphire Coast of New South Wales, home of the Diringanj people of the Yuin Nation. She enjoys hanging with her friends. She enjoys a bit of a laugh, I can tell, all right? She enjoys hanging with her friends and in her spare time, dabbling with photography. She is a valued daughter, sister, sister-in-law, and recently has become an auntie. And she introduced me to that little person this morning. Rhiannon desires the same opportunities as her siblings and others her own age, as she proudly lives with a disability. She's worked in hospitality, retail, business, administration, and has focused her advocacy efforts towards equity in education and employment. And in the middle here we have George Williams. He's a 22-year-old with a zest for life and makes the most out of each opportunity that comes his way. As a local to the Wollongong region on Dharawal country, he is a talented prize-winning artist who has sold and exhibited artworks in multiple galleries, as well as having volunteered in the arts sector. George is a baker who studied at TAFE, a passionate NRL supporter, go the Dragons, and an empathetic son, brother, uncle and community member. So what we've done is we've prepared a few questions for our panellists in advance, and so we're going to ask that during this session that we have no questions from the audience. Instead, if you can listen, reflect and consider what's being said, then you may have an opportunity during afternoon tea to follow up with any questions that you might have. So this afternoon, these lovely people are going to give us their insights into the good things in life, those same typical experiences that we often take for granted, the things like making decisions about our own lives, building relationships, having access to inclusive education, securing meaningful, paid, open employment, and being able to live in a home of your own, having rich opportunities, scaffolded with the right supports. So we're going to dive in now. I hope you're ready. And hear about the good lives of our panellists, and we're going to start with Rhiannon here. You're going to need this little microphone here, and why am I going first? Because you're going first on my script, and that means you're going first. So, can you share a little bit about your life?
Why?
Your turn.
What am I doing? No, why? Hang on. Okay. I can't.
You start with this slide here.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And you're going to tell us what you enjoy.
Okay. I enjoy being creative in photography. I like technology and the various entertainment it offers. I especially enjoy going out to a live music scene. I am proud of my educational achievements. I got my high school certificate in 2022. Then, in December 2023, I finished a school-based traineeship, working and studying to get a certificate 2 in business administration. Last year, I gained qualifications to be licensed in the responsible service of alcohol. I have good memories of my school camps, especially the year 12 excursion to Sydney. Finishing school was a scary time, and I was a bit sad, but I really enjoyed my graduation and school formal with my school friends. That summer, my family and I travelled overseas to Singapore and Mauritius, which was fun. Not everyone thought I could do all of this. When I started high school, my parents had some teachers tell them I needed to go to the support classes. I stayed in the regular classes where I had always had been. Others in my peer group started their traineeships in year 10. I started mine in year 12 because it took my family 2 years to convince the school I would be capable. They did this by helping me to choose some vocational subjects where I completed TAFE courses as part of my regular school studies.
Fantastic.
My starter house became worse.
Thank you. That's great looking at those pictures. We're going to go over to you, Rachel. Can you share a little bit about your life and some of your proudest moments?
I am proud to be a micro-enterprise business owner. I am the director and artist at Fucan Create, where we create and design hand-painted artwork along with functional textile fashion such as bags and homewares. I am also proud of my pole dancing achievements. I enjoy the physical and social aspects of my pole classes and look forward to my showcase performance nights.
Wow, better than me. Thank you. And George, what about you? What memories do you have of your life so far, and what kinds of roles do you hold in your community?
Oh, well, I went to preschool and then to primary school with my older brother and sister. I found it hard to learn and socialize at first because I found talking with the other school kids hard. But then by year 2, I was getting the hang of things because I was getting supported in school and I had speech therapy. I remember I had a lot of fun dressing up on those special days in school, like book work, and like book week events, and also always hanging out with lots of kids in the library, doing drawing, which I was learning that I'd love to do. I had a best friend in primary school, and his name was Tristan, and we always used to hang out together and have lots of sleepovers. By year 6, I was developing my talent in art and got to show my drawings at a small exhibition of young artists. And some of my friends from school came. And that was very exciting, and I felt very proud. Me and my brother went to the same high school together, and I graduated from year 12 in 2020. I loved school trips like camping and skiing, and I was able to make some new friends there. Me, my mom, and dad have decided that it actually would be very good to try out drama as a way of practicing my speech, as the typical speech therapy exercises were boring. I learned that I was pretty good at learning monologues, duologues, and parts in the plays, and could perform in front of many people at the esthetes and other events, which was very surprising. Since leaving school, I kept learning, exploring my interests, and building my roles. For example, I continue to be a student for the last few years. I have been to TAFE and studied baking, hospitality, and also photography. The study helped me to become an employee. I have had a job baking in a cafe for the last 2 years, and I have just got a new job in another cafe that also does cakes. This is perfect for me, as I love to bake and cook. I continue to explore different employment opportunities that suits my skills and interests. I am an artist. I practice my painting throughout the week and enter my work in exhibits and competitions. I'm also practicing photography, and I sometimes join in a local photography group. I have sold paintings, won awards, and just recently I have attained a customized artist in residency role and somewhere in the youth center, which is new and very exciting. I am a passionate NRL Dragons member. I have been a Dragon supporter since I was about 8 years old and love to go out to see the Dragons home games. I am pretty obsessed with NRL, and so I try to watch every game of the season. I'm hoping to go to Vegas next year to watch them live. And she is super cute, as you can see, and I love her very much. We take her swimming into a park sometimes, and we enjoy doing art together. I take my role as a responsible uncle very seriously. I am a keen traveler. A big achievement for me last year was to have my very first interstate flight travel over somewhere over in Melbourne to visit a family friend. Friends are important to me, and I work hard to stay in touch with family friends and some of the old friends that I have made in school.
Thank you. I'm definitely going to be looking up your artwork because I am an artist too. I've been learning to tell myself that. Rachel, now you mentioned some of the proud moments earlier. Has someone ever thought you couldn't do something, but then you showed them that you could?
While working on my literacy skills at home, I used letter tiles to create the word can. Mum read it out. I added to my message so it said I can. Mum read it out again. I started to laugh as I added 2 more letters and listened to Mum read it out. It said F you I can. This is now the name of my business.
And so the business was born. Okay. It's powerful to hear what you've all done and what matters to you and how you've grown. And we're going to go a little bit deeper now and talk about the people around you, family and friends, which is what we've just heard from Rachel. But what we're going to do is we'll move to George next. So my question for you, George, is how have your friends and family helped you?
My family is always there to keep me on track and to help me focus on things that I love to do. They taught me about caring for one another, listening to each other, and staying connected. As well as my mom and dad expect me to pull my own weight, contribute, and to work hard. This is how I develop and grow. My family share in my love of footy and genuinely support me with all my interests and goals by guiding me to dream big with a you can do it attitude. My family taught me how important friendships are, and in high school, they helped me to stay connected with friends through the bunch of mates. A group of us would play some sport and do card games like charades and Uno. Being together with my friends was such a blast, and we enjoyed hanging out and having food together. My friends from school and those who enjoy footy with me have helped me by introducing me to their own network of friends. My family and my family friends came together to help me with my employment goals. My job coach, Brittany, continues to work for me, and with me she works for me approximately for about 10 hours per week on my employment goals. When needed, my family have helped me to connect with paid support centered around my goals, and as I got older, I got more involved in this aspect.
Thanks, George. That's great. Rhiannon, how about you? What role does your family play for you, and what other supports are you building into your life?
My family wants me to have the good things in life with the same My family wants me to have the good things in life with the same opportunities as my brothers and sister. When I was very young, they wrote a vision for my life, and so lots of people, including the many school principals and teachers over the years that I went to school. The vision has been updated over time, but is based
You're going with it.
but is based on my family's values, including things like being educated to my full potential. They taught me about the good life and encouraged me to dream big.
There it is.
They have helped me to grow as a person, have compassion for others, and care about their feelings so I can be a good friend. When I was younger, I was a gymnast and a dancer. Now I am a member of my local fitness club. Every Wednesday I go to a dance fit class. I have made new friends there, which is Tiana and Haley. We always go out for a cuppa after the class. I have a good time, my friends, Tiana and Haley, and Peter. I can ask them for help if I need to. For example, when I have problems with booking my class on the phone app, I can easily ask Caroline, who owns the gym, to help me with this. When I was on holidays in January, my friend Tiana noticed I hadn't been to classes for a few weeks and asked where I was.
Thank you. Now, we did hear this from Rachel a minute ago, but I'm not sure, it was a bit out of sync, so are you able to do that one again? Yeah, okay. Thanks, Rachel. It's yes, this is we're thinking in particular about the role your family and friends have had in helping you choose the life that you have.
My friends and family help me stay connected and engage in activities I love, like meeting for coffee, seeing bands at the pub, going to social events with my pole friends, or going to concerts. My family and friends also help me make decisions by giving advice, opinions and suggestions. They support me by giving me time to think about what I want to say and do.
Okay, so what we're hearing here is that it's clear that the people around us make a big difference. They're the ones that, through their support and belief, can make a huge difference in a person's life. So what we're going to do now is talk about your growth over time. George, can you tell us about your support network?
Oh, I know what you see. And my mom helps me get through some of the tough times and sometimes some of the sad times. But I think it actually is mutual. We seem to know each other about how we are feeling, and we know what to do for each other to help each other. I have had a number of people working for me over the past few years. Brittany has been the longest for about 7 years now. She was my art mentor initially, but now she mostly helps me with my employment goals. We know each other very well, and now I know that Brittany is a very supportive, kind, and a calm person.
Thanks, George. Rhiannon, this morning you told me that you're quite the advocate yourself and that you have done some work in change making.
What does that mean? I'm kind of advocate.
Well, you told me that you're the kind of advocate yourself. You said.
I am not an advocate.
No, you did some work at Parliament House and things like that. Anyway,
Don't yourself.
what we're asking you is if you can just share some details of what you've done in making some change. This is your next little bit. Okay.
I like to contribute to the work of family advocacy. There are stories and photos of me from when I was younger, which my mum helped me see in their resources. I have spoken at a school to work conference with my mum in 2022. Last year, I spoke at a parliamentary forum on the vital link between inclusive education and employment. A few weeks later, a motion was passed in Parliament recognising the forum and the recommendations that were included. Doing this makes me feel like I am Doing this makes me feel like I am working to make a difference.
Great.
Well, it's quite hard.
Thank you all. You've all shown us how support networks and courage go together to make change, hand in hand. And we're now coming to our final question. And this is one for families, allies, and everyone in this room who wants to do better. So, George, we're asking, what should families and allies know?
Well, I guess I would suggest to focus on every individual's interests, but also I think it also is great for them just like to try out new things, because that actually would allows for them to be offered them that actually would offer them like some new and different opportunities for building their own confidence and to encourage connections with people who like the same things, as well as being proactive and having high expectations of themselves.
Thank you. Rhiannon, what sort of advice do you have for the people here in the room about walking alongside family members?
My God.
Off you go then.
Oh my God, things go quick around here. How long does it take for someone to do their panel?
You don't have to... Yeah,
What's so funny?
they,
Is there something funny if my voice?
no, it was just the...
I will be laughing too. Okay. My advice to parents in the room is to listen to us and not limit our potential. Even though you might be scared, give us freedom to fly and grow as a bee. I want people with disabilities to have the same basic human rights as everyone else. For the world to be inclusive, so we can have a good education like everybody in schools, fitting in together and having friends, having a job with equal pay, living an ordinary life, not being bullied or being picked on. No one deserves that when life is hard for them, even though things can be hard. I always remember to try and have a good time.
Thank you.
It's not easy with what you have now. It may be hard, but everybody out there that are watching this, I want to thank you for everything that you did. Life might be hard, but you have to keep remembering that everything you do is based on you. Everything may be hard in school for me, but I did not have a good time. Thank you.
Thank you. So Rachel, to round out the session, what final comments do you have to share with us about striving for a good life?
I am always trying and learning new ways to develop my skills as an artist, businesswoman and pole dancer. To learn something new you need to practice, practice, Practice and be in the right place at the right time, and then practice some more some days. Put yourself out there and meet new people. Try new things until you find something you love. Then go to these places where others who share your interest go. And keep going to several of these places on the same day and time to regularly meet potential friends. Maybe you'll love to pole dance too.
Not likely. So, just wrapping up, working towards the good things in life is like a muscle that needs to be exercised. And like our panellists have said, Rachel said it takes practice. George has said it's about being proactive. And Rhiannon has said it's about not limiting potential.
And men do think that is not easy to face on you.
Thank you. And thank you so much to the panellists for what you've contributed this afternoon. Amazing speakers. You've shown us what it means to live well, to push forward, and to help others do the same. So let's give them a round of applause. What I'd like to invite you to do is to continue the conversations during the breaks and throughout the gathering. Thank you for being here. Thank you again for the panellists and sharing their stories, and thank you for listening. Thank you.